Hey, everybody. Welcome out to another episode of Windshield Time at Mountainland Supply. I am Joey. I'm here with Spencer, the man of everything shorts.
That's me, yeah.
We're also joined today by Kela DeCosta.
Thank you for...
Don't call him DeCosta.
you can call me whatever you want, honestly.
People get that confused, though, right?
Yeah. It's funny because actually half my family, they say DeCosta. The other half say DeCosta.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
The ones who say DeCosta, they're trying too hard.
That could be argued, I guess.
And you probably get a lot of people thinking you're Hispanic because of that.
I do. Yep.
But are you Hispanic?
I guess I am. So I'm Puerto Rican and Portuguese and German, French, and pretty much everything under the sun.
Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That is not a Puerto Rican tattoo you have on your arm.
That is not. We'll get to that in a second. But
Teaser.
yeah, that's right. Got to have a little subtle foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So originally, my great ancestors moved from Puerto Rico to Hawaii, and worked on the sugar plantations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so that's where a lot of my Puerto Rican heritage and olive skin comes from.
Olive skin.
Yeah. That's what I was told.
Yeah, the dream. Yeah.
Gloat much?
Yeah.
So, I've been real lucky with that. Tan super easy. My wife hates it, but it
As
is what
she
it
should.
is.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about the tattoo?
So yeah, like I said, originally my ancestors came over to Hawaii way back in the day, and I was born and raised there. Moved out, I guess, technically when I was 20. I went on a mission for Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Went to California, and that was an awesome experience. Everywhere over there, though, I was out with Spanish-speaking missionaries, and they look at my name tag, say DeCosta. They're like, "Oh, DeCosta."
Start hitting you with
the Spanish, and I'm like,
conquistador language.
yeah, I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying. Meanwhile, I point over to my white gringo companion, and they're like, "Oh yeah, perfect Spanish." So like, dude, what's up with this guy? So it is what it is. But yeah,
You didn't speak Spanish though.
no, I didn't. My grandma did. She barely spoke any English, actually.
Really?
But yeah, so growing up with her
On
was
the DeCosta side or the other side?
DeCosta side. Yeah, so
Okay.
she was funny because she when I was a kid, she used to call me Tela. She'd be
Tela.
like, yeah, she would be like Tela, usually yelling at me for something,
course.
and then the rest would be in Spanish, and I didn't understand it, but you get the tone.
Oh
so
yeah, tones everything.
yeah, exactly. So I learned I guess when to run away and when to stay in the room. So I mean, survival skills, I guess.
Yeah, that's a universal language. Anger.
Yeah. And she demonstrated it well, but she also gave me sugar donuts before school, so
Can't beat it.
yeah, he had both sides of the scale there for sure.
So, grew up in Hawaii on Oahu and the Big Island.
Correct. Yep. So kind of half and half. My parents split up when I was like 4 or 5 or something like that. And we kind of just bounced around all over the place. My dad, he was a general contractor. We grew up pumping concrete. I actually lived with my brother for a few years. Shout out to Nate. He's kind of like second father to me. He helped raise me ever since I was like 14. So I feel like a lot of my work ethic and stuff like that really comes from him. So yeah, just super hard worker, and a lot of members of my family are. I also have 12 siblings. So
Glad you got to it because I was going to ask.
yeah, so definitely my dad had to work real hard to provide for that many mouths and stuff, and
Sure.
My mom too. So shout out to them. They're awesome.
And where do you fall in line with those siblings, bud?
So I'm number 12, so I have one little brother. But I kind of grew up with everybody, all the oldest siblings, so a lot of them consider me to be the baby of the family, which is fun and embarrassing and all that.
Treat you like it sometimes.
Yeah, they do. Like when I was a kid, I remember they were always like, man, I was living with my mom while everybody else was living with my dad, and they were like, dude, this kid's so spoiled. Like, he's not gonna have to work for anything. Da, da, da. And so when I lived with my brother, he made sure that was not the case. I had to work for everything. So,
It's good.
Yeah.
Taught you a lot.
Oh yeah. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like, really, I feel like the lessons that he taught me and the rest of my siblings taught me, all growing up, is a lot of the reason why I've been able to accomplish the things that I have and kind of have like the outlook on life that I have. And I don't know.
So what brought you to Utah?
School originally. I came out because I was like, man, starting out on your own in Hawaii it's expensive and it's rough. So I was like, I need somewhere that's a little cheaper. And for my mission, I had so many people that I knew that were already in Utah. So I was like, oh, well, might as well just try and go do the school thing out there, be cheap. And here I still am, not going to school, but I love it. Yeah, I did. I went to UVU. I was studying finance and stuff, and as I get kind of more and more involved with Mountainland, I kind of decided that wasn't really the path for me, I guess. But I loved it out here, and yeah, it's been awesome ever since.
It is interesting as you grow, just your interests, the things that drive you, your ambitions, they seem to change over time.
Oh yeah.
You start out wanting to be into finance, and then you have an opportunity to go in a different discipline. You went into the sales department and sales support, and you've done well at it.
Yeah, I like to think so. I've definitely struggled a lot and had to ask a lot of, dumb questions, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all experience is good experience, I think.
Yeah. So when you started at Mountainland, what was your position when you first started?
So when I first started, I was a driver. I actually interviewed with Shandon, and wasn't really sure what to expect. Show up in like a church shirt and a tie, and I was just like, "Hey, yeah, I don't know what this is, but I want to work here." And he's like,
stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, and he's like, "All right, cool. You want to start tomorrow?" I'm like, "Oh, wait, I got to give my previous job 2 weeks notice."
Yeah,
I was working at a golf course at the time, commuting up to Sandy and back, and I was living in Provo, which wasn't good on the gas, or the shifts were kind of junk. And then I had to, I was a bag boy. I had to like share my tips with everybody, even though not too many other people did anything.
Right.
So,
right.
But yeah, so then I gave my 2 weeks notice, started driving over here. I was just driving the local truck throughout like Lehigh, American Fork, Eagle Mountain. And then later on, I started driving the Price route. I love that route.
Lots of good guys came out the Price route.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You did the Price route.
Of course I did.
Oh, of course. Well, it was really good though. Like just going out there twice a week. I just had a lot of time to like think and call my family and and then I get back to the warehouse. They're like, dude, you did that in like half the time that the other guy did. I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
You were not mailing it in.
I was like, I'm sorry, I guess. They're like, oh no, it's good. It's just slow down a little bit.
Slow your roll a little bit.
Yeah. So, but then I did that for a while, and then Brandon Barber and Bryce, they taught me how to drive semis. Yeah. So then I started driving semis, and I was doing transfer trucks and big hauls and stuff, and that was fun. And honestly, I thought I was going to do that for a while. Got my CDL and stuff, and like 2-3 months into that, that's when I got approached by the infamous Matt McAllister. And he was like, hey, we got this position opening up for a census water meter technician. And I'm like, what did you just say? Like,
know nothing about it.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. He's like, well, it's like this technical position. You'd be doing like some sales, some computer stuff. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm not a sales bro. I'm not a computer nerd. Like
a sales bro.
Because that in my mind, that was my limited exposure. And I was like, well, yeah, I don't know if that's going to be a good fit, honestly. He's like, well, I think you should apply for it anyway. And so I'm like, all right. So I applied, showed up in my best Mountainland polo.
Yeah, stuck out again.
That's right. And I interviewed. I was like, they're like, do you know anything about computers or Excel? I'm like, nope, but I can learn, and I feel like I'm a hard worker, and whatever you guys need me to do, that's what I'll do. And so I must have made an impression,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because they offered me the job a couple weeks later, and I was honestly shocked. And I was like, wow, do I do this? Do I not? But ended up going for it, and it's been, really life-changing for me, I feel like.
It's awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah, lots changed in your life over the last, how long you worked here? 8?
Since 2017.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Wow.
8-ish years.
Yeah, 8-ish years.
Yeah.
So I was doing census stuff for about 7 of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was totally different ball game. Definitely got used to being out in front of customers and explaining things, and also, just
working through their problems.
Yeah. I mean, then some of these things were just so daunting. Like, you have engineers that went to school for this kind of thing, and just like people that know so much more than you, and you coming in, you're like, hey, I'm the guy that's going to fix your problem. They're like, all right, sure, whatever, and like eventually it got to the point where, I was the guy that could fix their problems. And like, I've made tons of mistakes along the way. And like, I was even talking to you last week, like, I'd still make mistakes. I feel bad. Like, there was a customer I went to, and I was banking on my vendor to get me the stuff I needed, and they didn't get it to me in time, and I look like an idiot in front of the customer, and
Happens.
yeah, it does. And it's like, it just goes to show, like, even though knowledge wise I knew what I needed to do, things still always happen. And it's okay to admit that, like, you could have done better, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but.
Yeah, being self-aware, understanding where your weaknesses are so you can build on them and make those into strengths, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
It's a maturity thing, it's an accountability and ownership thing, so I think it's a great place to learn.
Yeah, I think without that, you kind of just like fall into the trap of needing to know everything, and you put more pressure on yourself.
Totally.
And then also it opens up so many opportunities for miscommunication.
Yep.
And so it just like, it can snowball real fast.
Yeah. So you are one of the select few that I've offered a challenge to over the years of reading a book.
Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that book is life-changing.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, looking to the camera, whoever is on the other side of the camera or whoever's listening, like, if you haven't read it, you should read it. Like, even if you're not a big reader, even if you're not like a super philosophical person or whatever, I feel like it just helped me to understand life and quote unquote what's fair.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just like really helped me feel like I can control my own destiny,
I love the idea that in this world, there are those who produce and those who take. Mm-hmm. And if those who take start to overwhelm those that produce, the producers stop producing.
Yeah.
At least for the masses. They'll still produce. They'll just do it on their own terms.
Right.
And if those people are taken advantage of for too long in all the wrong ways, they'll find another place to be because they don't want to be amongst those who take things from them.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's a cool kind of microcosm of the employee-owned company, We're a company that's built on merit and those who produce. And if you produce, you're rewarded according to your merit, and not just because you've been in a position for a long time and you've kind of just done your time.
Right.
It's not the way it works.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I came up from, driving straight into a sales position, there was some people that were upset, and understandably so. Like, some people feel like they've been here for a while and that's what they deserve. And, and it's like, I will say I was very lucky to be put in that spot, in that position. But I do know that I was putting in my full effort, and that was recognized by like Matt and Zach. And I think Matt actually came up to me or told me a few weeks later, he's like, I asked you to be in a position. I'm like, dude, I have no idea. Like, I am the least qualified person.
Yeah.
I feel like you could have gotten somebody way better. And he's like, well, honestly, I heard about you because I was just asking some guys throughout the warehouse, like somebody that stands out, and like 9 out of 10 of them said you. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. He's like, and then I actually watched you for a few days. I'm
very
like,
flattering.
Yeah, flat and creepy.
People are watching.
Yeah. But no, he's like, no, you always had like a sense of urgency wherever you're going.
Yep.
And then, I asked like Zach Blackburn about you, and he's like, oh yeah, dude, Kela's like on it. And he's like, honestly, it'd be kind of upsetting to lose him as a driver. And he's like, honestly, that's the answer I'm looking for,
Yeah.
you know? So, and yeah.
I'm glad that you'd be upset. We're still taking him.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Yeah. Which like, and that's a huge compliment. I feel like, especially coming from Zach Blackburn, like he's such a good dude. Like
He's a guy who gets it.
yeah, really. And like, there's so many people like that in Mountainland. It's just crazy. Like, you know, Jeff and Brian, you know, Brian Gregg, those just on here. And like, oh man, there's just so many people. It's hard to like remember them all on the spot, but it's like, there's so many people here at Mountainland that are just so incredible.
Yeah, giving with their time and their knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no problem whatsoever. They're not, you know, trying to hoard it. And
which in turn makes you want to do the same thing.
right.
Like, oh, I'm going to, whatever I learn, I can pass on to somebody. It's not a threat to me. It's just, that's how we do things.
Right.
You know, and help them be a better version of themselves tomorrow than they were today. That sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is what I love so much.
Yeah. A lot of things have changed for you over your course at Mountainland.
Yep.
Both personally and professionally.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, obviously the career change is crazy, and, you know, the knowledge I learned from that is crazy. And people ask me what I do for work, and I try to explain it to them. They're like, that sounds so technical. I'm like, if I could do it, you could do it. Like, it just takes time, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like, as you know, I just got married. Well, you married us in my living room.
Reverend.
Reverend Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
And that was such a cool experience. We talk about that a lot, actually. And that was back in March 1st to be exact. And we actually had 3 weddings, which was fun.
Because you're an overachiever.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, they say statistically nowadays people get married 2 or 3 times throughout their life. So,
so you got them out of the way early.
We just did it to the same person, you know. So yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so crazy how that even worked out too. Because I feel like, you know, throughout Utah, you know, I've dated around and whatever, and kind of like being, well, now I'm 30, but you know, being like 28, 29 and single, people are like, dude, TikTok.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, Shorts knows what's up. But like, it was just super funny because I always make this joke that, you know, I prayed to God that, you know, just as long as I get married before 30, and, you know, 2 months before I turned 30, he made it happen. So, you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But
well, it definitely does if you find the right person, and you found the right person.
Yeah.
Because Shannon's a great person.
Oh, yeah. I love her so much. She's hands down the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like,
I would agree.
Yeah. You know, I mean, clearly, you know, like it is really funny when I talk to people and they're just like, dude, it's awesome seeing you guys together. Cause like you're the same exact person, whether you're with her or without her. And so that really like goes to show like I'm comfortable. And, you know, there's a lot of people that I feel like have great qualities, but there's a difference between like having things on a checklist and being like compatible with somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I feel like me and her are just so compatible, and it just works. Yeah. And, you know, we have so many vastly different interests, you know, our interests really don't line up that much, but like our compatibility is just second to none, you know, so, which is awesome.
It is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've kind of done several jobs at the company. Now you are moving into a new position.
I am. Yep.
Which is
outside sales for municipalities. Yep.
So what does that entail?
So, I mean, luckily with the census position that I've been in all these years, I've worked with a lot of municipalities.
Yep.
So I know a lot of the guys that I'm luckily going to be working with now.
Yep.
But now it's like I get to broaden my knowledge and, you know, my influence, I guess you could say, into other parts of their departments, you know?
Yeah.
So, which has been really awesome. Like, you know, I know you've talked a lot about on the podcast, just of being like the dumb in the room, I guess.
Yeah.
Asking the dumb question or just being upfront and honest with them, you know? And every single customer I've gone into so far, I've just told them like, hey, you know, I know this thing really well and all these other things, I'm going to ask you some dumb questions. So I apologize ahead of time, but you know, I appreciate you guys just being patient, working with me.
It's the only way you learn, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they love it too. They're just like, oh dude, don't worry about it. Like whatever we can do to help you out, let us know. I'm like, you guys are, you know, I'm supposed to be servicing you, you know,
right.
not the other way around, but they really do.
Yeah.
And I love the municipalities. Like, they're such good dudes. So humble, down to earth. Like, yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, we did a campaign a few years ago, the We See You campaign, when we went out to a bunch of municipalities and reminded them that Mountainland, unlike other companies, and when I was talking with Tim about this, the idea was other companies might, they'll see somebody driving or see somebody working in the road or see somebody digging up a street or changing a meter or working on something, and they see that as a nuisance, but we truly see them for who they are. And, most of those guys at the municipalities, especially in the water departments, they are providing a life-sustaining resource.
Yeah.
And, I think that goes unnoticed a lot of times.
Yeah.
They see guys, out in a ditch wearing fluorescent green or orange, and they're like, man, this guy's got it easy.
Yeah, which is crazy when you think about it. It's like, it's not just getting the water in a pipe to your house. It's like making sure the pressure's good, making sure the quality's good, making sure that like you have it 24/7, and that's pretty wild.
Yeah. To have that type of person in our customer base, I think is a huge testament to who we are, that they trust us with their infrastructure. They trust us with their cities. They trust us to provide them with the right parts so that their people at their city or whatever, they don't get caught, not having water,
right,
or not having good streets to drive on, or backed up sewers, and all that stuff can go unnoticed until you really need it.
Right. Yeah. No, seriously though. I was in a couple Sundays ago, a customer had a leak or whatever. So I came into Mountainland. And, he was just like, oh man, like I'm the sorry sucker that picked up the phone, but it's like,
I said yes.
Yeah. But it's like at the end of the day, like if he didn't do it, like who would have,
Right.
and so it's just like, taking time out of his weekend to go and make sure that everybody else is okay. Like that really is a hero.
It's a huge sacrifice.
Yeah.
And, first responders get a lot of credit, and they should. I mean, EMTs, police officers, sheriffs, deputies, all those people, they should get the credit that they deserve.
Yeah.
At the same time, public works people, they're providing a huge service to their communities.
Yeah.
And they just don't get recognized as often. And since they're a huge part of why we get to remain in business, that's why, I felt really a strong impression to make sure that people realize that we see them,
Yeah. I mean, sometimes they're even like opposed from the public, like people are chasing their dogs on them or, chasing them out with crazy guns or whatever.
Well, they get upset with him because all of a sudden their water bill is reading accurately and they're getting billed for how much they use.
Right.
And those guys, they end up being the ones that field the calls of people complaining. Like, why is my bill $80 this month and it was $40 last month? Well, because we're actually documenting all the water you use,
Yeah.
And so they can get a lot of pressure, public pressure.
Right. But it's like without, especially those water meters reading accurately, not charging accurately, that's what really keeps the whole city going. So it's like, it's
some
tough.
cities, that's their only source of revenue.
Yeah. No, seriously though.
To bill for their services.
Yeah.
So you excited about the new opportunity?
Yeah, no, it's good. I know that I've leaned on a lot of people, especially this first little bit where I'm transitioning out. There's still people calling me with some very technical questions that only me or Tyson or whatever can answer.
Yeah.
And so it is kind of tough balancing that for the time being, but like I've been super grateful, like to all the help I've received from like Morgan and Zach and the guys downstairs, Jared and Walker and Sean and Mario. Like all those guys are just so top notch. Like they're always so willing to help.
Yeah.
And like I know one of the things that you talked about on like previous podcasts and stuff is like if you were to give one piece of advice, right, to somebody just starting out at Mountainland, what would it be? And I feel like for me, I don't know. It was kind of tough to narrow down because there's just so many good things about Mountainland. There's so many good examples. But if I had to narrow it down, I would say, like be helpful and receive help in turn.
Yeah.
It's like no matter what position you're in, like there's always somebody in the warehouse that deserves your time and your attention. Like, or there's, you know, like a warehouse guy knows more than I do about certain parts, you know, but they may not know a certain stuff about census.
Yeah.
So you can have that kind of little trade back and forth, you know, because you never know who you're going to work with in the future too. I know like Brian Gregg, you know, great dude, love that guy. But it was like, I'm never going to do anything with pumps and and it's like, boom, now I'm in this outside sales role and I got all these customers asking me about pumps. I'm like, oh, I know Brian.
I know a guy for that.
Yep.
Yep.
And so it's like, if I would have just been like, you know, not giving them the time of day just because I don't see the immediate relevance.
Yeah. Or you just don't know.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, you know, that would have not served me at all. So might as well just like give people the time and the attention they deserve just for being here.
Yeah. Well, you got anything to add, Shorts?
I think that was beautiful, but yeah, I got like a few months till I'm 30, so
You got some time.
yeah, I think I'm
got
gonna get
time.
married soon, everybody.
Yeah.
Because you can't be married after you're 30.
That's a rule?
Yeah, it's a rule. I thought.
Okay.
Kella's a rule, right?
That's you know, even if I didn't get married after 30, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
You'd be all right.
I'll be good. I'm planning like 45, 50.
Hey, you're in it for the long haul.
You do, bud.
Yeah, whatever life has for me.
You know
Right,
what?
yeah.
I found the longer you wait, sometimes, you know, the better the reward at the end. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
It's true.
I waited a long time and some Mormon standards, I guess you could say.
Sure. Yeah.
And I feel like I got the cream of the crop, you know.
Yeah.
So if you're waiting longer than me, then you know, who knows? You could be dating a supermodel or something like that.
Yeah.
If that's what you're into. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
He's like, I already date supermodels.
No, of course not. Nope.
But no, it's yeah. Everything's on our own timeline and it's awesome.
Just got to be patient, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of times where I was, you know, very impatient and, you know, just doesn't serve you.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, bud.
Yeah.
And
Thanks for having me.
just so you know, this is the 100th episode of
Whoa.
Windshield Time.
That is true.
Oh, wow.
We just hit the century mark, and you were part of it.
wow.
Yeah.
I feel special.
And I think we're doing end of season 1 right here.
Yeah.
You're capping it off.
This is it, bud.
Really?
This is the end of season 1.
Well, I'm sorry it wasn't better then.
This is our grand finale.
Yeah.
Wanna do
grand
some,
finale.
wanna
Oh.
do some push-ups or something?
I
Yeah.
could.
I
you
can
know.
move the
Oh, no.
camera. Do
I-
people want that?
I was asked to model at one point.
That's true. Actually, you're still on there.
Oh, that's true.
I
guess
checked the
did-
website
I
the other
did-
day.
Yeah, I guess I
So
did
you guys
model
may
for
recognize Kela from his work on the Mountainland Wearable site.
Yeah, still waiting for my
Your
royalties.
royalties?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, keep on waiting.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, the check's in the mail.
Yeah, but you know what? You may not have picked a very good voice for podcasts, but I got a good face for Mountainland. So
Face for radio,
Yeah,
as James likes to say.
that's right. If you need that, you just let me know.
Yeah.
They're both beautiful. You're good.
Well, one thing about Kela, if you guys are out there and you do have questions about anything, Kela is one guy who would be just more than happy to answer your questions.
Oh, for sure.
So hit him up, email him, text him, whatever. But he's one guy who has definitely chosen to give back as much as he's taken over time. So
Thanks, Joe.
appreciate that about you, bud. You're a good man.
Well, thank you.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shorts is a good man. You're a good man. There's a lot of good people here.
It's
in
fun to be
Mountainland.
surrounded by good people, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Cool. Got anything else you want to do? You want to plug for? You want to mention all your brothers and sisters?
Yeah, you know, we could go through the whole list.
Do you have like a way to remember them all? Like a
No, I mean they're just all, you know, from when I was little. Just I don't know, it's just second nature. You just remember them, but I can name them off for you all right now.
if you wanted to.
Sure,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
No, you see, you got Rachel, Jason, Jared, Ben, Nate, Kai, Joe, Kiana, Tanya, Kaylee, Monica, and Chance, and then there's me. So that's 13 in total.
Impressive. I was hoping you were going to forget one that we could just rub your eyes on it.
I am very forgetful and I'm bad with names, but you know, my family, that one's I've had a lot of practice. So.
I mean, my dad's one of 12 too. So
Really?
I can't remember any of my answers.
Really? Wow.
Because
That's
they all
harder,
did
though.
the C and the K situation too. So that
Yeah,
should
that's
help,
tough.
but it doesn't.
No, that's tough. It's even more complicated.
Yeah, I do remember one time my mom, love her to death. This is funny. She got so mad and flustered at me and she was trying to like yell at me. She went through every single sibling until she got to me. So I was like, I waited there for a good 30 seconds before she said my name, but it was
I do that with my daughters. Luckily, I only got 4 of them.
Yeah. I mean, she has the patience of a saint.
Yeah.
Which she would need to, and
She would.
Yeah, she's got a lot of love. So she's a good woman.
Well, she passed on a lot of that to you, bud, because you exemplify that. You're a good man.
I try. Yeah, I try for sure.
Yeah, you do good.
Yeah. Team effort.
That's right. Thanks, bud. Appreciate you coming on.
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming in and enjoy the ride. We'll see you down the road.